Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to review a modern film called Past Lives, which was released last year, which was a kind of very praised film, and I think Oscar nominated for different categories. And it is a film I saw yesterday in the cinema, because here in Denmark it was first released I think a couple of weeks ago. So I was curious. I liked sort of the plot of this film, like two childhood friends who meets up again many years later in their grown-up lives, and of course they have a special connection to each other. That intrigued me and I was curious about it, and it was Korean actors, and I sort of felt it was an interesting idea to see a film about a modern love story about someone who has immigrated to America and still have a connection to a childhood friend. It's pretty much a modern day love story, and it's you can clearly see that from the very beginning. This is a film that is made for 2023, last year. Of course, it focusing on that side that people leaves each other to different countries, but still find each other again. You know, that sense of that we live in a very the modern society, that we can sort of connect with each other through our phones or computers, and this is really much what happens in this film. I think they meet each other online after 12 years in 2012, where they Skype together, and then they separate again because they both find a relationship in their lives. But again, then 12 years later, in 2024, I think, then they meet in real life in America, when the man decides to go to America. But that time the woman is very much married, so it's it makes for her and her husband maybe a bit awkward, but she's still curious about seeing him again. This is a film that very much tried to be very great. And what I mean about that is, and that's fair of course, but what I mean about it is it's trying maybe too hard to make you feel something. It tries to get you emotionally invested in this story, and there I have to be completely honest. I wasn't moved at all, and that is the film's biggest weakness, I think. I know many people are moved by it, but I wasn't, and I can explain why. Simply because I didn't connect with the situation. Even though I like that idea of people meeting up again after many years, I felt still that they needed a bit more development of those characters, because it's difficult to sort of see people meeting up after 12 years. I didn't sort of feel it was so focused on the first periods of their life, like when they were 12 years old and then when they were 24. The film gets through that very quick, and then decides to have the final act where they meet up again, which is also the best part of the film. So I understand why they focus more on that, but I think because the setup was it went through that very fast, I felt I didn't connect with the situation they came from. I couldn't understand really their love or passion for each other, really. And that I felt that's just me. I know if you have moved to another country and know about this situation, maybe you would probably identify with this situation a bit better. But for me, it left me a bit unsecure about how should I feel about it, because of course I could understand it was a bit awkward for them to meet, and maybe they have a connection with each other. I can completely get that. But if I have to look for myself when I was like 12 years old and look about those girls that I was had a crush on, I was in love with. I don't think if I met them now, I don't think I would have that sense of that I felt we should end up together and think about what could life have been if we were if we knew each other through the years. But again, of course, I'm not. Again, I haven't immigrated to another country, so that's maybe the weakness. Maybe it's a weakness for me just. But again, I still think it jumps too fast through the first two time periods. Um, and the second thing I don't really care that much for this film is that it tried to be too meta. I don't know is the right word in terms of it's very self-aware of what happens, and suddenly there's near the end some moments where the woman speaks to her husband about this whole love situation, and he says something like, uh, "This is a very great love story. You two meet up again after so many years, and then I'm kind of the villain in this." And it's kind of I don't know if the director tried to be too smart to sort of explain the situation like the audience doesn't know this already. And I felt that was a bit pretentious, really, because I felt these types of conversation that happens drags on a bit too much, and I didn't care for that. I felt because the film is very, very simple. There isn't really much any conflict or dilemma in this. It's just them meeting up again, and nothing really happened, and that's totally fine. I like the sort of the quietness and the simplicity of it, but then they try to maybe be a bit too smart with some of the conversation, and I felt that was really a pity because I felt some of the great things about this film is really the show don't tell situation, the montage sequences, and some of the more quiet, intimate scenes where you just look at each other, go through the city. Those scenes I really like and feel more realistic, really. But when this does try to talk about these things that the audience know already, then I feel it's stupid. And there's also some things about, of course, the past life situation that maybe they have. This is like a Korean thing, something about people meeting up in a new life, really. And the thing, I don't mind that necessary, but I don't think it goes that much into that. So in some ways, I felt when it was they were making a point about it, I felt it was a bit awkward putting into this film. It didn't feel earned. That's just my opinion, of course. Um, and that's really what made me sort of feel a bit disconnected with this film. And I get this is a very modern film, and I'm not so much to modern films really, but I really wanted to connect with this situation. I really because these two actors are really wonderful. I really like Greta Lee and Teo Yu, who plays the two lead characters. They are wonderful, and I like their chemistry. It's not that and I am a person I seek love like everybody else. It's not that I'm a cold bastard here sitting and explaining why I don't believe in this plot. Again, the plot is fine. I just think it tries too hard to be smart, even though it's very simple, and it tries too hard to be emotional, even though I don't think there was so much emotion when you really think about it. That's just my opinion, but it's a fine film. It's well made. I sort of see why some people would love this type in modern days, but for me, it's just a fine film, but also a bit pretentious and a bit um, a bit cold, really. I felt a bit cold, but it has some nice music actually. I think the music parts in this film is actually the most emotional because I think the music is very moving. But when the music is more moving than the film, then yeah, then I don't think that's a good idea. But that's just my thoughts of this film. If someone has seen this and disagree or agree with me, let me know in the comments. I hope you will all have a very nice day, and thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.